Now, John Murphy, the assistant general manager of the Toronto Argonauts. What can you tell the fans about Cameron Judge?
All of us agreed that he was the best player, on the board, and that was very exciting. From what I know right now, his thing was, I want to concentrate on this NFL workout. So for him to have a shot of working out for the Raiders, I think it's something very important for him at this stage of his career.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Holy, welcome everybody. Welcome to the RPShow. It is a Flame Tech Football Friday, and we got RP here, Moose there. Hall of Fame writer, broadcaster John Lynch is on the sponsors couch, and he is just fit to be tied. He can't wait to get in here and talk ball today. It's a big day, as producer Clark can take a bow. It's one of our biggest days in terms of guests. We've got CFL PA president Solomon Elamimian joining us, the recently retired Solly. Notice what I'm wearing. The viewers can't see this, but the listeners can't, but the viewers can. CFL PA shirt. Cam Judge will be with us, the recently signed Toronto Argonaut linebacker. He had some spicy things to say in a conference call yesterday, or a Zoom meeting with Toronto media after signing with the Boatmen. And then Derek Moncrief of the Los Angeles Rams will be with us, the pride of Prattville, Alabama, and a former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, now the first ever NFL player live in the bunker that we've ever had, Moose. That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Can I say one thing before I get to the quick six show topics? Our good friend Jamie Anstey out in Halifax watches every day, and he said Canadians would be lost without The View for sports fans, which is the Rod Pedersen Show, and it's blowing people's minds in the Maritimes that the show comes from the sweatpants capital, which is Regina, Saskatchewan. And I didn't tweet it, Jamie, but I want to say this to all our viewers across all 10 provinces and 31 states. It shouldn't blow your mind that the show's originating from the Bermuda Triangle of the National Hockey League or the heartbeat of the Canadian Football League, where we're at. It's like Paul Feinbaum doing his SEC show on ESPN out of Alabama. It is I was talking to a Toronto Hamilton reporter the other day. He said the roots of the National Hockey League go back 100 years. They were heavily weighted towards Saskatchewan, going back that long. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't blow your mind that this show, The View for sports fans, is coming from here. That's all that I want to say. But thank you for noticing. All right. Let's hit the quick six, Director Jordan, please. We're going to mix in a little hockey here in the quick six before we go all ball with our ballers today. But the one that everybody's talking about is Randy Ambrosie, the commissioner of the CFL, doing a surprising interview, if you will, with the Canadian press, where he said, the quote that I got out of this is, we're going to play in 2021. And when I talk about people that are chomping at the bit, I see there's a comment here from Trent in Norway. Can you find that, Clark, and put it up? They're coming in like a jackpot machine here, slot machine. Trent Bruner says, Norway calling. Dave Naylor from TSN writes that the CFL won't play without fans in the stands. Yada, 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 yada. I can't see the rest of it. It's too far away from me. So Naylor's saying they won't play without fans. Well, that's incredibly disappointing to me. And I've said they have to play no matter what. Here's Naylor, who's speaking, by the way, on behalf of the owners and on behalf of the league, saying if we can't have fans, we're not playing. Look at Lynch's reaction. He's just stunned. Stunned. And you said in your tweet, I think it was your tweet yesterday, you said, don't blame government, or you have said that.
I've said it.
A lot of very wise pundits, not the least of which is Mike Stackhouse, who writes a great column on rodpedersen.com. It's on there right now. He's saying this is all in the government's hands. It wasn't for Curling Canada. It's not for the National Hockey League. It's not for the WHL that's playing out of a hub center. So I don't see how you can blame the government for if the CFL doesn't play. Your take on that?
I'm right there. You can't blame the government. I mean, the government plays a role, absolutely. They have to sign off on the plan. They have to approve it, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't play, it's on you. It means your plan wasn't good enough. You didn't want to play, didn't want to spend the money, or didn't want to put in the work, right?
It's how it looks to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play, you'll put in the work. You'll have a COVID team, right, that will be tasked for coming up with ways to play if we have COVID. And that'll cost a little bit of money. You'll have to pay for extra vaccines potentially, or extra testing, or whatever it might be that will get this approved by government, or you'll have to change the way you do business to a way that works in a pandemic. If you're not willing to do those things, then you can say, look, the government won't let us play like we always have, so we don't want to play.
Okay, so I just called it up here at tsn.ca. And of course, Dave Naylor is a great friend of ours. The headline is the CFL isn't going to play without fans in the stands. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the case, then I've lost any faith that I've got left in the leaders of the Canadian Football League. This will be incredibly sad if it's vaccine or nothing for the CFL, and will have let a lot of people down, not the least of which is the players. And I see that the CFLPA is writing in. They say, looking good, gentlemen. That's why I'm wearing the suit coat today, because they sent this long sleeve T-shirt, which I rarely wear that. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put a blazer on over top of this and class things up a little bit. But that's a poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. What should RP wear as the host of the show? Suit coat or the traditional bunny hug, which is the vernacular here in the rectangle? In the sweatpants capital, bunny hug is another word for hoodie. What are they saying, Dupes?
75% are on the bunny hug train.
Yeah, but they haven't seen this yet. They haven't seen this.
I think it looks sharp. And the black is slimming. I tell you,
You're saying I'm fat?
My CFLPA long sleeve fits like a glove. And I'm going to wear it tomorrow for our Saskatchewan show. But, I mean, it fits like a glove. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Carlos in Indianapolis is watching. He says, this show feels too casual for the suit coat. Bunny hug it is. Well, for when it's cold out anyway. I thought I'd change things up today, and I think I'm going to wear this CFLPA outfit for special events. That's how I feel about it.
I like it.
Anyways, very disappointed in the CFL if they don't play in 2021 without fans. Moving on to point two, the negativity that came out of the announcement yesterday from Randy Ambrosie, which isn't even an announcement, it was a quote in an interview, and kudos to Randy for saying it. But the players were all, yeah, I've heard this before. I saw 5-6 players tweeting that. Then I saw Danny Austin of the Calgary Sun going back at the players saying, where's the negativity coming from? We're months away from a season. Why you got to be so negative? It's crying wolf. Can you blame these players? My heart is sinking by the minute as I think about this article from Naylor. Because, again, he's speaking on behalf of the league and the owners and the presidents. That is not a sign of strong leadership from the leaders of the Canadian Football League if they can't find a way to play or aren't willing to spend the money to play without fans when other leagues are. I can't tell you how disappointed I am in them. Anyways, moving on to point three. We'll get into this later with Derek Moncrief, because he's an NFL player coming into the bunker. The Carson Wentz fallout. I did a little more digging. Remember, this broke just before we went to air yesterday. The Carson Wentz was dealt from the Eagles to the Colts for 2 draft picks. And then you mentioned how they're going to pick up $33 million of his salary. That's unbelievable. Dead money on the Eagles cap for next year, for 2021, for $33 million. But you kind of forget, right, that Wentz was very good at one time.
Oh, yeah.
He started all 16 games as a rookie. He finished 3rd in NFL MVP voting as a sophomore. He's got the tools. Something happened to him. And he has taken some injuries and some hits to the noggin, and he hasn't been the same since. But the Colts are willing to take that gamble.
Remember when he was good in Philadelphia? His offensive coordinator was
Frank Reich.
Who's now the head coach in Indianapolis. This is the perfect scenario for jump-starting your career again and getting it back to what it was, the familiarity of the people around you. This could be really good for Carson Wentz.
It is a football Friday for Flame Tech, so I invite any of your commentary today from the viewers. Jeff, the Stampeders fan, writes in and he says, if the CFL isn't viable without fans, then it's not viable. So be it, unless it gets a cash injection. I'll say it again. Disappointed in the leadership of this league if they can't find a way to play without fans. I can't say it any more times than that. But we'll get your comments as we roll throughout the morning here on Canada's daytime sports talk show. This is the warm-up, by the way, for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons, your home for the NFL. NHL now, George wants us to say. NHL leftovers. it's becoming a thing. Every morning, or as many mornings as I can, I put 5 thoughts from the prior night's NHL games. So I'm watching the Leafs and the Sens last night, and I'm watching Brady Tkachuk run around and cross-check guys in the back of the head after the whistle. And I see his brother do the same thing. And don't talk to me in Calgary about Matthew Tkachuk not being a spot picker. Ask Mark Scheifele, who got knocked out of the playoffs last year. Ask Jack Campbell, the Leafs goalie, who hasn't played since Tkachuk accidentally fell on him. And I'm sitting in my lazy boy going, I don't remember Keith Tkachuk playing that way. I don't remember him being a dirty player. I actually really like Keith Tkachuk as a player. He was an honest, gritty player. His boys don't play that way. So I shot a text message to a teammate of Keith Tkachuk's from the 90s. And he did speak off the record, so I won't out him. But I said, did I miss something? Did Keith Tkachuk play this way? And he says, no, but he couldn't. In the 90s, you'd have had to answer for that. So they don't have to answer for it anymore. So I said in my leftovers, Keith Tkachuk wasn't a spot picker like Brady and Matthew. Spot picker, a lot of people, I guess that's an old hockey term. A lot of people don't even understand what it is. And it comes from deep inside hockey culture, which is somebody who picks their spot when an opponent is vulnerable. You had another definition for spot picker earlier. Similar.
You know,
what was yours?
Well, you know, I'm not dropping the gloves with you, but you asked me in the third period, I'm dropping them with you. Like, you pick your spot, you get to choose.
So in both cases, pick your spot, who you're going to fight, pick and spot when you're going to nail somebody if he's not looking or it's after the whistle, or in the case of Jack Campbell, laying down on the ice. That's all I'm saying. Those two are spot pickers, and they wouldn't have been able to get away with it in the 90s, and their dad never played that way. So that's my one leftover, and I don't respect that, by the way. And at some point, when's the NHL going to wake up and when they say, oh, sorry, it didn't mean to take out the back of Scheifele's leg and knock him out for the... When are they going to start realizing it's not an accident? Point 3 of my leftovers, Sam Steele has arrived. Unfortunately, his teammates haven't. He scored the only goal last night, and the Ducks lost to Minnesota, if you noticed. Also, who do the Flames give up for Jack Eichel? Who's it going to be? You see Taylor Hall's talking contract extension with the Sabres. Eichel's going, just wait, you'll get sick here too. Like I did, right? Maybe they'll move him, I don't know, but the Sabres have lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And my last one is that the Kings are quite young and also quite old. When you look at Drew Doughty and Jonathan Quick and Dustin Brown, they're all mid to late 30s. Now, you pointed out that Dustin Brown scored 8 goals.
Yeah.
All that tells me is trade him now. Because if you're the Kings, you're saying, we're not going anywhere. So we got some great pieces to start a rebuild right now. Do they do it?
I think they should. You know, Kopitar, Doughty, Brown. You could move a lot of these pieces and really kickstart the next generation in LA. I think it's a great idea. So, no, it's fun. I got a tweet locked and loaded, ready to go for this afternoon. It is 2009 all over again in the NHL. Dustin Brown's got 8 goals. Patrick Kane is 5th in the league in scoring. Joe Thornton's got 8 points in 8 games. And Mike Smith is 4th in the league in save percentage at like .938. And the Chicago Blackhawks are in 2nd place. So
it's unreal.
It's 2009 all over again.
So from our viewer wall, Sheldon Lasham is watching in Calgary. He says, Roddy, that Scheifele play was completely innocent, not dirty. Says the Flames fan. Troy Durrell says, same as Marchand. Marchand accomplishes a lot more and has a ring. So, hey, you guys can sit and defend the Tkachuks all you want. I knew that you would, and I knew that it wouldn't be a popular comment. The fact of the matter is they are spot pickers. That's all. And if Flames fans are going to say none of what Matthew Tkachuk does is intentional, then I hope you can sleep well at night. We're never going to agree. And you know what I realized? I was actually going to tweet this from my recovery account, and I still may. I've stopped arguing with people and just let them be wrong. And you wouldn't believe how happy I've become.
It's great advice.
Let them believe that Matthew Tkachuk is this little angel. And maybe he is the heart and soul of the team. But I know this. I was telling Lynch in the car on the way up here. I just saw Ryan Leslie and who's the other guy? Eric Francis, talking about a culture problem in Calgary. Heart and soul of a team with a culture problem. What more do I need to say? Point 5, how about those Raptors? I am in no way, shape, or form an NBA insider or analyst or pundit, but I do watch the games, and last night I didn't watch the Raptors beat the Milwaukee Bucks. I had a lot on my plate, obviously, but they did win 110-96 without Kyle Lowry. And incidentally, Toronto, did you see the graphic from TSN? 16-2 without Kyle Lowry.
Not a good graphic.
Well,
for Kyle Lowry.
You want to talk about heart and soul of teams. Maybe if you want to talk about trading people away, maybe it's Kyle Lowry you want to trade away. I don't think you do. And by the way, how about Shaquille O'Neal, who we all love, part of the greatest panel, not in the NBA, in sports. And he didn't know that Spicy P's name was Pascal. Did you see that clip?
Just knows him as Spicy P.
Well, he just knew him as Siakam.
Yeah.
He didn't know. I didn't know what his first name was. That's hilarious.
Unbelievable. And, you know, with Lowry, maybe that shows a little bit, though, of what he means to this team and the guys in that locker room, that it's like when he's away, you're like, let's do it for him. Let's pick it up. And when he's there, it's like, he'll take care of it. We don't have to work as hard.
And I'll speed it up here before we bring in Solomon Elimimian and John Frenzy. But the Scotties begin tonight. That is a bell-worthy ringing thing. Tonight, draw 1 on TSN from the Mark and McPhail Center in Calgary. We will be providing Scotties updates and coverage throughout the next week. Brought to you by Verge Agriculture, helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Visit vergeag.com to learn more today. They are out of Calgary. Tonight it's Northern Ontario versus the Territories, Yukon versus Team Peterson, which is wild card 3, no relation, Alberta versus Nova Scotia, and Team Canada, that's Carrie Einerson out of Manitoba, representing Team Canada, versus Team Zacharias, which is Team Wild Card 2. That's tonight. I think it's 8:30 Eastern, so 7:30 here Central tonight on TSN.
Can't wait.
Thank you, Verge Agriculture, for bringing the Scotties coverage to our viewers and to us. By the way, the rock star of the day yesterday for Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions was Saskatoon Blades head coach Mitch Love. And today's going to be, I might have to put the poll up. Who is going to be the rock star of the day today? Solomon Elimimian, Cam Judge, Derek Moncrief, or John Frenzy? We'll talk more about the CFL stuff later, but we're going to talk about the great career of Solomon Elimimian and his retirement when we come back. See you in a while, Dupes.
We'll see you later.
It's the RP Show. You're watching on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.